Before you pour another bowl of cereal for your child this morning, stop. What I'm about to show you will make you want to throw every box in your cupboard straight into the bin. 5 popular cereals, 5 trusted brands, and sugar levels so extreme that feeding them to your children is, quite frankly, closer to child abuse than breakfast. I know that sounds dramatic, but by the end of this video, you'll understand why I said it. If you care about what your kids are really eating, hit that subscribe button right now. We expose a different UK food scandal every Wednesday and Saturday. And trust me, after today, you'll want to see what we uncover next. Today, we're exposing 5 breakfast cereals that millions of British parents feed their children every single morning. Products marketed as healthy starts to the day. Cereals wrapped in cartoon characters, bright colors, and reassuring health claims that say things like fortified with vitamins and part of a balanced breakfast. But I've done the research. I've read the labels. I've looked at what these companies don't want you to notice. And what I found? It's shocking. We're talking sugar levels that rival chocolate bars, chemical additives that have no business being near a child's breakfast bowl, and health claims that are, to put it bluntly, lies designed to make parents feel good about buying nutritional garbage. And here's what makes me angry. These companies know exactly what they're doing. They have nutritionists on staff. They understand the childhood obesity crisis. They know about type 2 diabetes appearing in children. They know. And they market these products to your kids anyway, with cartoon characters, with bright colors, with toys and prizes, because they know if they can hook your child young, they've got a customer for life. So if you're a parent, a grandparent, or you just care about children's health in this country, stay with me, because what you're about to see will change how you look at the cereal aisle forever. And don't forget to hit like if you want to see more investigations like this. The algorithm needs to know British families want the truth. Let's start with one of the most iconic cereals in Britain, the one with the cheeky monkey that every child loves. Number 1. Kellogg's Coco Pops. Kellogg's Coco Pops. The cereal that's been in British cupboards for generations. The one with the cheeky monkey mascot that children absolutely love. And here's what Kellogg's wants you to believe. It's a fun, chocolate-flavored breakfast that gives kids energy for their day. They've even positioned it as containing vitamins and minerals. Fortified, they call it. But let's talk about what's really in that bright yellow box. Sugar. Masses of it. A 30-gram serving of Coco Pops contains over 9 grams of sugar. That's more than 2 teaspoons of pure sugar in a single small bowl. And let's be honest, most children eat far more than 30 grams. Fill a typical cereal bowl, and you're looking at closer to 60 grams of cereal, which means nearly 20 grams of sugar. That's 5 teaspoons, before you've even added milk. To put that in perspective, the NHS recommends children aged 4 to 6 consume no more than 19 grams of added sugar per day. 1 bowl of Coco Pops, and they've hit their daily limit. Before school, before snacks, before anything else. But here's what makes this particularly cynical. Kellogg's markets Coco Pops as fortified with vitamins, iron, vitamin D, B vitamins, all added artificially after the manufacturing process. It's a clever trick. Take a sugar-loaded product, spray some synthetic vitamins on it, and suddenly it sounds nutritious. The truth? You cannot fortify your way out of a fundamentally poor nutritional profile. Adding vitamins to a sugar bomb doesn't make it healthy. It makes it a sugar bomb with added vitamins. And then there are the ingredients most parents don't even notice. Barley malt extract, which is essentially more sugar disguised under a different name. Glucose syrup, another sugar. Salt levels higher than you'd expect in a children's breakfast. And emulsifiers like soy lecithin to maintain texture and shelf life. None of this belongs in a child's breakfast. And yet, millions of British parents pour it into bowls every single morning, believing the marketing, trusting the brand, assuming that something this popular, this established, this brightly packaged must be acceptable. It's not. It's a chocolate-flavored sugar delivery system wrapped in nostalgia and cartoon characters. And the only thing it's giving children is a blood sugar spike, followed by a crash an hour later. That's not energy. That's a recipe for behavioral issues, concentration problems, and long-term health consequences. And that was just number one. Wait until you see what Nestle is doing with Cookie Crisp. It's even worse. Number two, Nestle Cookie Crisp. If Coco Pops is bad, Cookie Crisp takes it to another level entirely. Because at least Coco Pops pretends to be cereal. Cookie Crisp doesn't even bother with the pretense. It's literally shaped like cookies. Small, crunchy chocolate chip cookies that you pour milk over and call breakfast. Think about that for a moment. We're giving children cookies for breakfast and calling it cereal. The sugar content? Even worse than Coco Pops. A 30-gram serving contains over 10 grams of sugar. That's 2.5 teaspoons in a tiny portion. And again, children don't eat 30 grams. They eat double that. Triple if you're not watching carefully. But here's what really bothers me about Cookie Crisp. It's the complete abandonment of even trying to appear healthy. There's no fortified with vitamins claim. No part of a balanced breakfast positioning. It's just cookies. For breakfast, marketed directly to children with a cartoon wolf mascot and bright fun packaging designed to make kids demand it from their parents. And it works. Because children see cookies. They love cookies. Parents think, well, at least they're eating something for breakfast. And Nestle makes millions while British children start their day with what is essentially dessert. The ingredients list reads like a chemistry experiment. Sugar, wheat flour, chocolate chips made with more sugar, glucose syrup, vegetable oils, cocoa powder, and a parade of emulsifiers, stabilizers, and artificial vitamins thrown in to tick regulatory boxes. This isn't food. It's an ultra-processed confection masquerading as breakfast. And every single morning, thousands of British children eat it before heading to school, where teachers wonder why they can't concentrate, why they're hyperactive, why they crash mid-morning and struggle to focus. If you're already angry, you're going to be furious when I tell you about Frosties, because this one has been lying to British families for over 50 years. Number 3. Kellogg's Frosties. They're great. That's what Tony the Tiger has been telling British children for decades, and in terms of marketing, he's absolutely right. Frosties are great at selling, great at building brand loyalty, great at making children beg their parents for that distinctive blue box. But nutritionally, not great at all. Frosties are essentially cornflakes coated in sugar. That's it. Take a relatively bland, somewhat neutral cereal and cover it in a thick layer of granulated sugar until it's sweet enough to appeal to children. The sugar content sits at around 37 grams per 100 grams of cereal. That's over a third sugar by weight. Let me say that again. More than 1/3 of what you're feeding your child is pure sugar. And unlike Coco Pops, which at least attempts to hide behind chocolate flavoring, Frosties doesn't even bother with that. It's just sugar. Frosted onto corn, hence the name. They're literally telling you what it is, and somehow we've normalized giving this to children every morning. But here's where it gets even more frustrating. Kellogg's has spent millions building an association between Frosties and sports. Tony the Tiger represents energy, athleticism, being active and strong. Children see that, parents see that, and subconsciously, we start to associate this sugar-loaded cereal with physical performance. The reality? Giving a child Frosties before school or sport is setting them up for an energy crash. The initial sugar rush might feel like energy, but it's short-lived. Within an hour, blood sugar plummets, energy drops, mood shifts, and concentration vanishes. That's not fuel for performance, that's fuel for failure. And of course, like all these cereals, Frosties comes with the fortified with vitamins claim. Iron, B vitamins, folic acid, all sprayed on at the end of production. As if that somehow balances out the fact that you're feeding your child the equivalent of several spoonfuls of sugar before they've even left the house. It doesn't balance out. It never did. And Tony the Tiger has been lying to British families for far too long. Now, the next one is particularly sneaky, because it takes a healthy cereal you probably already trust and turns it into a sugar bomb. Stay with me. Number 4. Weetabix Chocolate. This one is particularly clever. Because Weetabix, the original version, is actually one of the better cereals available in UK supermarkets. Whole grain wheat, minimal processing, low sugar, genuinely quite decent as far as mass market cereals go. Many nutritionists actually recommend standard Weetabix. But then Weetabix decided they wanted a bigger slice of the children's market, and so they created Weetabix Chocolate. And in doing so, they took a reasonably healthy product and transformed it into yet another sugar delivery system aimed at children. What's frustrating about this is the deception by association. Parents see Weetabix on the box and think, oh, that's the healthy one, the one with whole grains, the one that's better than those sugary cereals. And in their minds, Weetabix chocolate must be relatively okay because it has the Weetabix name attached. But look at the nutritional information, and it tells a very different story. The sugar content in Weetabix chocolate is nearly triple that of standard Weetabix. Triple. We're talking over 25 grams of sugar per 100 grams of product. And here's the really cynical part. Weetabix markets this chocolate version with claims about whole grain content, which is technically true. It does contain whole grain wheat, but that whole grain wheat is now bound together with chocolate flavoring and substantial amounts of added sugar, completely undermining any nutritional benefit the whole grains might have offered. It's like taking a healthy salad, drowning it in sugary dressing, and then claiming it's healthy because there's lettuce in there somewhere. The presence of one good ingredient doesn't cancel out the damage caused by the bad ones. Parents buy this thinking they're making a healthier choice, a compromise. At least it's Weetabix. At least it has whole grains. And Weetabix knows this. They're counting on it. They're leveraging the trust built by their original product to sell a version that's fundamentally different. This is brand betrayal. Taking a name associated with quality and health and using it to push a product that's closer to confectionery than proper breakfast food, all while parents believe they're doing the right thing. And finally, the one that got me most angry, because it targets toddlers. Actual toddlers. Keep watching. Number 5. Nestle Cheerios Oat Crisp. Let's finish with Cheerios. Specifically, the various oat crisp varieties that Nestle markets to children. Honey-flavored, chocolate-flavored, all with bright packaging and fun shapes designed to appeal to young kids. Now, like Weetabix, standard Cheerios are actually relatively decent. Whole grain oats, low sugar, fairly simple ingredient list. Many parents choose regular Cheerios as a sensible breakfast option. And honestly, that's not a terrible choice in the world of mass-market cereals. But Nestle, like Weetabix with their chocolate version, couldn't resist the temptation to create sweeter, more appealing versions aimed at children. And in doing so, they've taken a reasonably healthy product and loaded it with sugar. Cheerios Honey Oat Crisp contains over 22 grams of sugar per 100 grams. Cheerios Chocolate contains even more. Compare that to regular Cheerios, which contain just 5 grams of sugar per 100 grams, and you can see exactly what's happened here. They've taken a decent product, quintupled the sugar content, and marketed it to children using the trusted Cheerios brand name. And parents, seeing Cheerios and whole grain oats on the box, assume it's still a healthy choice. But here's what really bothers me about these flavored Cheerios varieties. The marketing explicitly targets young children. The packaging features bright colors, fun characters, and imagery designed to appeal to toddlers and primary school kids. Nestle knows exactly who they're selling to. And they know that once a child develops a taste for sweetened cereals, it's incredibly difficult to transition them back to less sugary options. This is conditioning. Getting children hooked on high sugar foods early, building brand loyalty while their taste preferences are still forming, and creating lifelong customers for products that undermine their health. And the worst part? It works. Brilliantly. Children love these cereals. Parents feel okay buying them because they see Cheerios and think it's sensible. And Nestle profits while British children consume sugar levels that would have been unthinkable a generation ago. So here's what we're really looking at. 5 cereals, 5 major brands, 5 products marketed directly to children and sold to trusting parents. And 5 examples of an industry that has prioritized profit over health for decades. Because let's be very clear about something. These companies know exactly what they're doing. They have nutritionists on staff. They have researchers. They understand the health implications of high sugar diets in children. They know about obesity, diabetes, dental decay, and behavioral issues linked to sugar consumption. They know, and they sell these products anyway. Because they make money. Huge amounts of money. And as long as British parents keep buying, they'll keep selling. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Childhood obesity in the UK has reached crisis levels. 1 in 3 children leaving primary school is overweight or obese. Type 2 diabetes, once exclusively an adult disease, now appears in children. Dental decay remains one of the leading causes of hospital admissions for young children. And breakfast cereals, these brightly coloured boxes that fill supermarket aisles and family cupboards, are part of the problem. Not the only problem, of course, but a significant part. The cereal aisle has become a battleground. Cartoon characters compete for children's attention. Health claims fight for parents' trust. And in the middle of it all, families trying to make good choices are being actively deceived by marketing that prioritizes sales over well-being. This isn't about perfect parenting. It's not about never giving your children treats. It's about honesty, about knowing what you're actually feeding your family, and about making informed decisions based on facts rather than clever advertising. So, what's the alternative? Because let's be practical. Mornings are chaotic, children are fussy, and quick, convenient breakfasts matter in busy households. First, read the label, always. Ignore the health claims on the front of the box. Turn it over and look at the sugar content per 100 grams. Anything over 15 grams is high. Anything over 5 grams is moderate. Below 5 grams, you're getting close to sensible. Second, consider simpler options. Plain porridge with fresh fruit, standard Weetabix with banana, regular Cheerios with berries. These aren't as fun or as colourful, but they're infinitely better for your children's health. Third, if your children are already hooked on sugary cereals, transition gradually. Mix sugary cereal with plain cereal, slowly increasing the proportion of plain until they adjust. It takes time, but taste preferences can change. And finally, remember that breakfast doesn't have to be cereal. Eggs, toast, yogurt with fruit, even last night's leftovers. Break free from the marketing that tells you breakfast must come in a brightly coloured box. Your children's health is worth more than corporate profits. And the moment we stop accepting what we've been sold as normal, that's when real change begins. If this video made you angry, good. That means you're paying attention. Now imagine what else they're hiding. What's in your ready meals? Your so-called healthy snacks? The baby food you trust? Hit subscribe. Because every Wednesday and Saturday, we're exposing another food scandal that British families need to know about. Next Wednesday, we're investigating UK ready meals. And what we found will shock you even more than this. Drop a comment below telling me which product you want exposed next. And if you know a parent who needs to see this, share it with them right now. Until then, stay aware, stay sharp, and defend your dinner.